So how did I end up here? Yes, you saw that message clearly, and this is not a joke. My Google account that managed all my YouTube channels got hacked just a few days ago, and myself, being the rightful owner, being locked out of it. I was fearful of what would happen to my YouTube channel, and all it was like was the end of my life. Let's just begin from how I even discovered I was hacked in the first place. It was not an ordinary day I noticed that I got hacked. It was 3 AM and I was up that late because of an academic strike at my university that caused the classes to cancel. As classes got cancelled, that actually meant I had to study all the content that I ended up not getting taught on my own. And as what everyone does, I went ahead and said to myself, oh well then, I'm just gonna do this later then. And obviously that never works because I am a huge procrastinator. I spend every bit of spare time working on my YouTube channel or playing video games. So when it came down to it, I had another class on Friday, meaning I had to stay up late on Thursday night to actually study all the content I ended up procrastinating on. I was about to go to sleep after I was done finishing up my studies late at night, so I went and checked my YouTube channel before I went to sleep, and it sat right in front of me. Something went wrong. Couldn't sign you in right now, try another account. Normally that wouldn't be a problem. I just sign back in and everything is all good. But when I logged in, it says your password was changed less than 1 hour ago. I felt my heart drop, and immediately the first place that goes to is my recovery email. I have literally 9 emails from Google saying security alert for insert email address. The first one that appeared to me was the last email Google had sent me about a minute ago. Recovery email was changed for your linked Google account. I knew something was terribly wrong straight away and immediately tried signing in on my computer. And the same thing happened. Your password was changed less than 1 hour ago. Immediately, I clicked on the check activity button that Google sends to you whenever you change your password. It brings me to this help page seeing your Google account password has been changed. On that help page, it reads explicitly, if you didn't change your password, your account might have been hacked, and you should immediately follow the steps to recover your account. The first thing I did was announce on Discord, on Instagram. I texted to a bunch of friends and family regarding what I had just discovered. This was to mitigate any damage that might happen very fast because I knew the hackers might start streaming Elon Musk crypto scams any minute now. And I clicked on the recover your account action, of course, immediately, knowing I needed to get my account back immediately. And of course, it isn't going to be as simple as that. In the moment of panic, I didn't realize how stupid I was of me thinking I was able to get back my compromised Google account by just reading through Google's account help forums. And the steps on there followed. Step 1, sign into your Google account. Okay, so at that moment, I thought, this might have been the stupidest thing for Google to have said, because if you're on the page to recover your account, obviously you have already tried to sign in and failed. So then I tried the next step. If you can't sign in, go to the account recovery page and answer the questions as best you can. I used the account recovery page and tried doing that. So go in there, and it had a simple form there saying Google account recovery, recover your Google account. I immediately typed my credentials into the boxes, and after I entered my password, it asked for my security key. Like, a security key? What even is a security key? Some of you have probably never even heard of what a security key is, let alone use it to sign into your Google account. A security key is supposedly a USB drive used for two-factor authentication. A physical actual key that is used to log into your Google account. But I don't have a security key. In fact, I don't think a single person who is watching this video has a security key for the Google account. I clicked try another way because obviously I don't have a security key, so it asked me for one of my backup 8-digit codes. Sorry, what? Yeah, a backup code. A backup code might be more familiar for you guys with two-factor authentication, where an 8-digit one-time use passcode can be used to unlock your Google account. But like the vast majority of people, I just use my phone for two-factor authentication. I didn't have backup codes. And after I press try another way, it just says Google couldn't verify that this account belongs to you. It was after then it sank in my heart that my account was fully compromised and I was going to need to do something else to get it back instead of just looking on Google forums. And mind you, it was literally 3 AM in the morning, so there was no one for me to call. My phone cannot make calls overseas, and all my direct YouTube creator support lines were limited to my specific email addresses tied to the YouTube account itself. So I needed to act fast and prevent as much damage as possible. I began immediately searching on YouTube for other YouTubers and their similar experiences, and I am glad to say I've now joined their ranks in being one of the YouTubers of being targeted of malicious attacks and fraud, and here to share this story to you all. And you guys might still be wondering, how the hell did this hacker even get my password in the first place, and how did they even get past two-factor authentication? How did they even manage to change my password without it going off on my phone asking if that was me changing it? And I was baffled as well on how this happened, but I will detail on how this whole hacking process works after I am done explaining how I am here right now, talking about this extremely stressful journey to recovering a Google account. I found so many videos discussing similar hacking incidents. It seemed like this was not an isolated incident, and many others had experienced this exact same situation as I did. I immediately queued several videos in the background regarding several YouTubers' experiences in recovering their compromised accounts. I realized I needed a way to contact Google support team as soon as possible, and I began frantically searching all over the internet that I needed a real person to help me on this situation. I proceeded to waste about 10 minutes searching on the internet for any 24/7 phone line I could call so I can get customer support and get in contact with Google. And believe me, these contact phone numbers do not exist, okay? I can reassure you that a phone number like that does not exist, and it cannot be found anywhere in Google's help center. And there is also no email you can address it directly to contact specialists at Google to recover your hacked account. And in fact, while listening to one of the YouTubers' experiences trying to recover the compromised account, they mentioned that they tried contacting creator support everywhere, but the only place they actually responded was on Twitter. Yeah, goddamn Twitter. The social media app that PewDiePie had this many years ago and is still an ongoing joke on Discord that I don't use Twitter. I think it is a vile app that is mostly filled with internet trolls and also a bunch of people with bad opinions, and it's generally a circus for clowns to start arguments about the smallest things in the world and canceling others for the dumbest reasons. But yes, if you want to recover your Google account, you're going to need to use Twitter. And I mentioned at Team YouTube on Twitter crying for help that my 30k subscribers channel just got hacked with literally everything changed at 4 AM, desperate to get my account back. And just like that, I got a response by a real person from YouTube in less than 3 minutes. That is actually an exceptionally quick response speed that I managed to get a real person to help me deal with the situation. So I got in touch quickly to ask for their help, but not all help from real people is actually useful. We have some confusions in the way while communicating, which made the conversation unnecessarily long, but because for some reason, the guy on Twitter thought I still have access to my compromised account to log into so I can fill in like a special form only that email address could see, so it didn't really make sense. But then, and they were also not responding to my DMs, so I had to literally mention them on Twitter for every single time I sent them the information they needed, since they would not give an advice otherwise. So I was like a crazy dude trying to just ping YouTube on Twitter like 10 times within the hour. And the interaction was pretty ridiculous because it really could have been much faster if the guy who messaged me on Twitter who just stayed, because the only thing they actually needed, and by the way, let me clarify this, the guy on Twitter will not be the one to verify your ownership of the hijacked email address, because it's actually done by a special team, and you have to fill in that special form they give you access to after you give them a still working email address. That's all they're looking for. They're just looking for a working email address that they can give you that form to fill in. So this took me literally an hour to get to because the communication was so bad on their end, even though their response was pretty quick. So from there on out, the process was directed to Google's internal team to decide whether the information given on the special form that I filled in was real or not, to help in the recovery process. The special form had loads of different questions that requested very specific information, like the IP address that was used to log into the email address the most, the place where I logged into my YouTube account, like the devices I was using, the operating systems of those devices, and where, when I would use those devices, all very private information that only I would know. And the form was actually so long, it literally took me an hour to fill in because I was making sure to give the most detailed account to prove I am actually the rightful owner of the account. I even gave them specific timestamps when I was at each place, including at friends and family's homes, and also at like airports and where I traveled to. And after I submitted the form and I told the Twitter guy, an hour later, I finally got an email from Google Partner Support. Our internal team has reviewed your YouTube channel and confirmed that it was indeed hacked. For security reasons, we have to disable your Google account. And that was it. I managed to stop the hackers from posting any malicious content onto my channel. I managed to keep it all together without causing any more problems, and from here on out, it's no longer an urgent process as the hacker will not be able to do anything with my account. And I was able to fully recover the account by 3 p.m. that afternoon. And at that point, I had been up without sleep for about like 30 hours already. So I was reasonably, extremely tired and grateful I had been able to fully recover my YouTube channel. So I went home that night and slept for literally 12 hours, and now I'm here talking about this. It was such a stressful experience, so now I'm going to explain how the hacking even happened in the first place and how hackers bypass two-factor authentication and how you can stop this. Firstly, I have to explain that the hackers in fact did not know my password. My password is not too easy to guess, my phone didn't get stolen, and in fact, I was already extremely careful with how to protect my account, so the only person that could log into it was myself and myself only. Two-factor authentication is not a thing that can protect you from this attack. Basically, what actually happened was I got a sponsorship offer, which I was actually going to accept because it came from a company that I trusted and was willing to collaborate with, and it was for a large sum of money, which is not a lot, but an actual reasonable sum from my research. They go on to explain how this was like a new product line and that everything was strictly confidential, quote unquote, and I even had to sign a non-disclosure agreement to get access to their upcoming product library, which is actually legitimate because this is what actually does happen when companies want to collaborate with you. But what the mistake was not the non-disclosure agreement. They sent me a PDF file later which contained a sample video, which, mind you, had a real creator's collaboration video from someone, and it was a real video, and everything that had to be done in the promotional video that I was going to make. The mistake was pressing a link that was inside the PDF file, which lets me download a quote-unquote content library, and that zip file featuring some of the promotional media that they were going to let me use. But hidden in the zip file was the malware that led to all of this happening. Basically, the scammers are impersonating a reputable company that come and to creators like me and sponsored me for a sum of money, and even the email is extremely real and completely legitimate, similar to literally any other sponsor I've gotten in the past. But the hacking was successful when I agreed to their deal and downloaded the exclusive content zip file. And I even remember distinctly, I even used my antivirus software to scan for any malware before extracting the zip file, and it literally did not detect any malware or threats, which led to the hacker gaining access to my computer remotely. And what the malware does is it puts a cookie into my browser, which from there it is able to, in much simpler computer terms, use my computer in the background that is impossible for me to notice because it's all done by a robot very quickly. They're able to then add a security on their own as a method of two-factor authentication, which will therefore completely avoid my phone during two-factor authentication. And then finally, because they're already on my computer, they can easily get my password and change that too, and then log me out of my own computer and change the recovery email address, phone numbers, everything. Essentially kicking you out of your own house without you even noticing, like while you're asleep. And now, thankfully, these hackers are usually only targeting YouTubers with large audiences like me, because dumb hacking my account for my personal information doesn't actually make them money. They get these accounts just so they can start Elon Musk crypto scam streams, and they get a hold of accounts of YouTubers like me just so that their crypto scam streams can show up in you guys' subscription feeds and recommended. I mean, it's such an elaborate way to get people to fall for these scams, and this basically proves the point that these crypto scam streams are effective because they take such great lengths to try to just show up on your YouTube homepage. So my takeaway lesson from this show is that I'm never doing any sponsored content on my channel ever again. If they ask me to download any showcase videos or content or whatever files to show you guys how I would use it. Even if you're a real company, none of my business. If you want me to promote anything like a video editing software, I'm only going to grab videos from the internet to showcase the video editor, and I will never download anything. And more importantly, I'm probably just never going to do any more sponsored content in the future. And that's why you guys are important. YouTube is my source of income, so I'm constantly bringing you guys the best entertainment possible so I can put food on the table, and I just want to appreciate you guys for being here and watching this so I can be doing what I am right now as a job. And I always thought saying this was so cringe, but to thank my viewers for being there, because it is cheesy and lame, but this experience really taught me that the viewers are the ones that are here in the end of the day, holding this community together, not the sponsors I get.